Another issue that the governor's insisting on is a two-year budget. This is a pure political move by the governor to lower the authority of the legislature. Part of our responsibility in the legislature is each year we create a budget. That not only is how we spend our money, but it's where we spend our money. It's the priorities of the state. And this governor's insisting on a two-year budget, and all I can tell you is he can't even put together a one-year budget now. Why would we go with a two-year budget? His insistence on a two-year budget when he didn't even submit a two-year budget that had any analysis with anybody other than his accountant. It didn't go into the performances of any of the programs. It was developed in a shallow perspective of a budget analyst. It would never pass the muster of a legitimate two-year budget. We're not going to go for that. We think it gives this governor way too much authority, and of course every governor would love it. A Democratic governor would love it too. This is not a partisan issue. This is an executive issue, and even most Republicans realize that a two-year budget would not be a fair exchange of ideas between the executive and legislative branches in the year the budget's not passed. And he's not giving us nearly the information we need to pass a legitimate two-year budget. So if there was real legitimate discussions about it, we would be seeing issues about cost-benefit analysis, about performance budgeting, about performance outcomes. Those are the things that real two-year budgets would provide. He's not doing any of that. This is a shallow recommendation, and we're not going for it. And it's one of the political ploys that he's going to be using to try to close down the session. He'll eventually give up on that because it's built on a foundation of sand and not anything legitimately.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to tell our viewers before we close?
This session is really unlike any other session we've had. It's not based on decisions that are really good for the people of the state. These are decisions based on a national policy of the Republican Governors Association to cut government at every level. I never would imagine a governor who says he's an education governor who wants to bring in a national summit on education in a month would stand so hard fast against early childhood education and not allowing our schools to have an increase in state revenue to help them meet their goals of a lower class size, more teacher training, more classes, and preparing our students to a really global workforce. This governor is just following the political agenda of the very conservative Republicans that have only one goal, and that is to reduce the size of government without caring about the consequences of how you reduce it and who gets hurt. It's our children who are going to get hurt. And it's already our elderly that are going to get hurt. Cutting back on Medicare and Medicaid, and the federal government, Republicans trying to change Medicare as we know it, providing a voucher system to the elderly, and this is a day in which I never thought we would have during my lifetime, where we would be cutting back on services to the elderly. I mean, Medicare is the most important reason we don't have poverty in population over 65. We virtually have wiped it out as a result of Medicare, because most people spend a lot of their money in the last couple of years of their life, and we should respect our grandparents, and we should respect any system that adds the quality of life that we have had because of Medicare over the past 40 years. And for a Republican administration in this state to endorse a Republican proposal nationally to cut Medicare, cut health care to the most vulnerable under Medicaid, reduce the quality of services and its inspection of our nursing homes is pretty outrageous. And that's the battle we have right now. It's not the battle of really reducing your size of government. It's the consequences of the Republicans insisting on reducing government at any cost. If we are to reduce government, let's do it in a planned way. And these guys aren't doing it that way. It's misfits, and they don't care the consequences, apparently. If they think they do, then they're in denial, or they just don't care. And that's the real sense that we have to understand in this state, is that Iowa's better than that. We do care about how we spend our money, but we also care about what the consequences are. So if we can do it in a planned, legitimate way, Democrats are in favor of it. But we also want to invest in the future. And you don't invest in the future by cutting budgets for education at the preschool, secondary school, or higher education. That's kind of insane, and yet this is where we are. So hopefully the next couple of weeks we'll do better, and maybe I'll be able to give you a better analysis after we finalize our legislative session, which can't come too soon for most of us.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for being with us today, Senator Hadge.
Yep, thank you. Appreciate it.